So what is a glass child? Well, the term glass child was made popular by Alicia Meneses Maples, whose TEDx talk went viral in 2010, where she shared her story about her two disabled brothers, in which she was parentified by her parents and kind of forced to take on roles that she didn't ask for that weren't necessarily appropriate. And this turned out to be a very common experience. So many people have since done TEDx talks or talked about this on social media and especially TikTok because it is such a relatable and under-discussed topic. It's kind of swept under the rug, even though it is so common. Think about how many people you know that have a physical, mental, emotional disability, or even just something that requires more attention, higher level of need and support from parents or other people. So this affects a lot of people, and it's just something that for a long time was kind of like, you're fine, you have to be fine, your siblings need more care than you. You should be lucky that you're in the position you're in, and kind of, we don't want to hear it from you. So what does the research have to say about this? Well, these children, especially those who are parentified or put in a role where they're really taking care of their siblings and even sometimes their parents, they tend to be more perfectionistic. They tend to be more anxious, depressed, on edge, grow up too fast, know too much too soon, struggle with their own identity and independence, and had a lot of feelings of helplessness because they wanted to fix their sibling or fix their parents who were disagreeing about how to support their sibling. Some of them were even wishing to or waiting to get ill because either they desired the same level of attention or they were convinced that the same thing that was happening to their sibling, whether it be physical or mental, was going to happen to them. It also would really affect their relationship with both their siblings and their parents because it prevented them often from having a typical sibling relationship, and it was harder to connect with their siblings, or their siblings would unintentionally interrupt holidays or other special events. And so there sometimes was a lot of resentment. And then with the parents, same thing. There's a lot of resentment and frustration that their needs weren't being met or that they were being placed in an inappropriate role. For parents, though, of course, this is something that nobody expects, and they're doing the best they know how to take care of their child with different levels of need. And some parents will feel a lot of guilt and shame. They'll feel like it's their fault. They feel like they're not doing enough. They can't get anyone else on the same page as them. Their spouse doesn't agree with them. Their other family members are telling them they're doing it wrong. So it can feel really isolating. But as long as you are validating your child's feelings, as long as you're giving them one-on-one time and making sure they have the supports they need, whether it be therapy, medication, just for you to show up, extracurriculars, making sure they're connected with friends and have their own supports, then you're doing what you need to be doing. It's when the children's emotions are not validated and they're expected to be fine and they can't have any problems of their own, or they're involved in every crisis and they're expected to fix things, that they tend to have these problems later in life in terms of their relationships, in terms of, feeling guilty about leaving the home or getting a particular career, or feeling financially or practically responsible for their sibling. And that is really hard to take and can even feel traumatic for many people. So one organization that is really outstanding at providing supports for these families is Sib Shops. And they have support groups and programs that can even be done within a school that can really make an impact on a family's life. And then there is actually a number of camps specific for the siblings of these children who have these higher needs, whether they have a sibling with cancer or a sibling with autism, substance use difficulties, whatever it is, there's a camp for them. I actually have a list on my website, theneurocyclopedia.com, where you can find a number of those resources. For parents, being able to delegate care, use respite care, and demonstrate unconditional love all the time is incredibly important to the well-being of the glass child. So these are things to keep in mind and to reach out for help within your school, within the community, within your religious institution, so that you're making sure you're doing your very best to meet the needs of all your children, and that if they say they're fine or, they're kind of too quiet or performing too well, that isn't ignored.